Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. If you're watching the replay, I have a really special guest for you today. And this is live number 22 out of 30. And it's the 22nd of 02 February 2022. So it's a magical day. And I looked up the numbers, and the numbers mean relationship and resolution conflict, and it's all about that partnership. So 2 is like, in numerology, is when someone else comes into the picture, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a partnership in business, in project, whatever it is, right? So today my special guest is Mikey, my boyfriend.
Hello.
So it's the first time I've ever done a live with him, so we're really excited and nervous, and we haven't really planned what we're going to be doing apart from sharing our love story and just sharing a little bit about our relationship. I wanted you to, some of you might have met us in person and have seen us together and know the energy that we hold, but others may never have heard of Mikey. He doesn't like to be seen. There's been a few posts, but but yeah, so we're going to share a little bit about how we met and the magic and the miracle, because I believe that it is so important to surround yourself with miracles and magic of things that you want to create for yourself. Because personally, before, like back in the day, I used to hold a narrative that all men are dickheads and I'm going to be forever alone. I'm going to be this old crazy cat lady until until I met a friend who was like, oh, really? Like, I'm always surrounded by the most amazing spiritual like men. And I was like, what? Like, and in that moment, my reality shifted, because I was like, oh, I'll take some of that. Like, fuck this negative like toxic reality. Like, I'd rather be surrounded by beautiful humans. So I always thought that relationships could be easy, even though lots of people said like they're so difficult and they're so hard, but I still felt like mine would be easy. And our story is a bit of a fairy tale. Sometimes I'm like, is that even real? And when I was still in my commitment phobe running away stage, I just couldn't actually physically comprehend and believe it. But thanks to our relationship and the time we've spent together, I was able to bring a lot of healing to that, which we'll talk more about later. But now, yeah, we're going to start sharing our story, I guess. So how we met. So we met at an ecstatic dance. So an ecstatic dance is a conscious, I sometimes explain it as a movement meditation. There's no shoes, no phones, no talking, and it's all about your own full expression. And those dance floors are unreal. They're like next freaking level. And actually, my introduction to ecstatic dance was in Israel, when I found this festival I was volunteering at, and I didn't even know that existed. I thought it was a normal festival called Ecstatic Dance. And then I got there and I was like, whoa, and there were dance classes. There was like all these things and the most amazing dance floors. So here in Perth, we went to a dance straight after. It was the first dance after the first COVID lockdown. And with their dance, they do like cacao dance and then dinner. And at the dinner, that's where we first connected.
Yeah. At the ecstatic dance.
Yeah, and you didn't like me much.
Oh, yeah. I was quite triggered by Dasha. Yeah, I thought she was spoiled brat. And then, yeah, she just kept coming up into my field, right? And then, like, first time we met, I was like very resistant to hanging out with her. And then like I guess we saw each other again at the Under the Bridge party.
Yeah, so then we went to another Ecstatic Dance 2 weeks later. And at that point, I had this vision. I had this vision that I needed to go to these giant trees down south. So down south of where I live. And I was messaging all my friends and like trying to figure out who I can go with, who I can visit. They were all busy. And I didn't want to go alone. I wanted to go with someone. And it was really funny because at that point I was, as always, really into manifesting. And my coach said that day, I was watching a training with him and he said like, yeah, back in the day when I was single, I would manifest, like I worked in sales. What I would do at the start of the day is I would manifest 3K and a sexy flirt. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm so going to try that. So I manifested 3K. I actually did it. And I was manifesting the sexy flirt. But at that point I was like the thing it was like an aha moment because I would always manifest like sexy relationship. Like I would be like sitting there trying to manifest it, but I would never follow through. Like in everything else, I would take the action, but in dating, I just did it. So that night I was like, fuck it, I'm going to manifest a sexy flirt. And I was actually eyeing off a different person, not Mikey. I was eyeing them off, and then they were so fun. Oh shit. I wonder if we were on mute the whole fucking time. No, surely not. Surely fucking not. Let's just check. Let's just check. Let's just do a little check. Hey guys, bear with us. Let's just check. Oh no. Hey. Let's just do a little check. Okay, now it's just saying. Okay, let's mute it. Hey guys. Okay, well, now it's not mute. I don't know. Okay, well, hopefully the video wasn't on mute. Otherwise, I will have to re-record the first part. Anyways, now we're back. The internet cut out. It's 433, which is Mikey's lucky number. Remember that table at the restaurant in room? That was 433.
433, right at the front.
Yeah. Which was a miracle. It was like fully booked out and there was one table, the best table, and we were looking at it and Mikey's like, we're gonna get it because 33 is my like lucky number, and then we got it. So there you go. So maybe we're in luck, maybe round 2. Hoping that the mute button wasn't on. I don't think it was. Actually, it tells you that when you're talking that like you're on mute. So it's designed for silly people. Anyway, so let's get back to business, to this story. So I was eyeing off this guy who wasn't Mikey, but he was so far away. And I was like, oh, so happy by the fire with my friend. And then guess who comes over? Mikey comes over and sits down and totally ignores me. And I'm like, oh, she's playing hard to get. And then he like turns around like, Dasha. And then we end up talking and talking and talking. And I was like, whoa, this guy's so conscious and good with money. This is cool. Ooh, I wonder if he has a van. So then I asked him, do you have a van? And you thought I said,
I thought she said, do you have a fan? I was like, that's a really weird thing to ask someone around the fire. Do you want to stoke this fire with some fanning? But then, yeah, turned out that she said, do you have a van? And I had a van, still have a van. And that kind of worked out. I'm like,
yeah, I hit the jackpot. So I was like, yes, he has a van. I'm going to convince him to go down to these giant trees with me. And he worked from home. He didn't do anything. I was like, yeah, dude, let's go. And then he was like, oh, I don't know. It's not a no, but it's not a yes, and blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, oh. Anyway, he was like responding to me. We were texting, we were chatting, we were voice messaging. And then he decides that it's a no, we're not going to the giant trees. So then I was like, all right, dude, let's compromise and go to Karajini. And lo and behold, unexpected thing happened. He said,
I said, yeah, let's go to Karajini. That sounds great. I've been meaning to go for a while. And I was under the impression that Dasha was randomly from Byron Bay and didn't even live in the city. And she was leaving 2 weeks after that we left on the trip. So it was like, oh, it's going to be just like a, you know, one of those cheeky trips, like friends just, and yeah, it totally didn't turn out like that.
and I was leaving, but then COVID happened and it was just like, so I stayed because I was having too much fun. So we were going to Karajini and then we extended the trip and went all the way up to Broome and Cape Leveque. And in Karajini, we had some like really amazing experiences.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah. So before, I still had a lot of resistance to going up to Karajini with Dasha beforehand. And tuned in, like, with my higher self, guides, whatever you want to say. And I was just getting like you have to, it's like, you have to try, like, give it a shot. Like, what do you got to lose, sort of thing. I was like, hey, you're right. But actually, the day before we went up, I was getting the van into the mechanic just to get it all checked over and stuff. And the guy was like, man, there's heaps of rust spots underneath on the frame. Like, it's super dangerous. You can't take it. We have to book it into like a welder sort of thing, get it all done. And we were leaving the next day and I called Dasha and she was like, oh no. And I'm like, yeah, but I think, like, you know, we can get it done. Like, let's. And I went to Bunnings and like had never welded anything in my life, got all this stuff and just like spent the day like welding this freaking car, which is pretty nuts because I'm like, yeah, it was really awkward. But anyway, it was fine, like, and it's still fine. So that obstacle was clear.
Yeah, and also you told me like you had a vision of you in Karajini with the blonde girl.
Ages ago, like, kept getting some like these premonitions, but I had no idea even until like we were going up and then we were talking about it later.
Crazy, right? And then we decided to drive all the way. We drove all the way to Karajini, like straight there. And I think that the 15 hours in the car, we really bonded and connected and had so much fun. And then, yeah, it was really like fun and beautiful and like fairy tale like. And just like, yeah, just falling in love. Do you want to share that? We're falling in love.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. We just. I think it was like, you know, it's like when you just like fall in love with someone. It's like all this judgment or something that you had about them just gets stripped away, and it's just like they just shine. You just see them like completely differently. But it was like, for me, it was just a very instantaneous moment. And it was just like, oh, I love this person. Wow. It was like, you know, there was definitely like building rapport and having a good time. But yeah, the moment for me was like really instantaneous.
Yeah. And before that, we even had like a fight and we were going to end the trip and we were like fully like.
Yeah, there was like, we were very good at triggering each other. Like the shoes.
Yeah, just thinking the shoes. So Mikey, first of all, packed, the shoe was the thing, right? First of all, he packed 2 left arms and Ugg boots to go to 30 plus heat.
35-degree heat, weather and sunny.
So he had to wear my shoes, which he then broke. And then he lost one of my Birkenstocks, and I thought he did it on purpose.
Yeah, totally. It was like this huge argument. Like, Dasha thought I did it. like had just left the Birkenstock out the front of the van, but
because
I
I
had like
did.
accidentally dropped it.
Yeah, I thought that because like I stayed in the shop when he went shopping, so I thought he was like super spiteful and was like, ah, fuck her, I'm gonna like drop her shoe out.
No, you stayed in the van and rested when I went. Yeah, because
that's
I went
what.
shopping, but I
Yeah.
didn't care. I was just like happy to get out of the van and just do some shopping.
So then we went back. We found the freaking Birkenstock. And I was so like bitter with him and blah blah blah. And then we went to Karajini finally. And then you'll never guess, but we went to this epic spot. And then I'm like, oh my God, where's my other Nike shoe? Where the hell is my other sneaker? Like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh no. So on the way to this spot, it was a long, long road, super freaking bumpy. How many Ks do you think it was?
10 Ks.
10 Ks. And we got up. I don't know why I got out to take a video or photo. I can't remember what the hell.
That spot, that was ages away. It was like 50 kilometers away.
50 kilometers, right? I opened the freaking door and the shoe fell out and then closed it and never realized. So then I was like, oh, okay. I forgive Mikey for losing my shoe. Like,
yeah, it was like
I get it
really fast.
I get it. Like anyone could have done it.
It just slips out.
And then anyway, so we met this ranger and we got like chatting to him. I can't remember his name now. And we were talking, and then I was like, hey dude, have you seen a shoe? Like I lost a shoe on this road, da da da. Like, what does it look like? Like, I haven't seen it. Anyway, he's like, I'll go get it for you. I was like, yeah, whatever. So and then the next day, he like full on, I was like manifesting he finds my freaking shoe. And then the next day, he like full on found us at this next Karajini spot. And I was like, did you find my shoe? Thinking like he didn't. And he was like, yeah. I was like, no, wait. And he found the freaking shoe. Yeah. So it was a miracle, like a freaking miracle.
Lots of shoe shenanigans, hey?
Yeah, and there were like different shoes like hanging, and like we just see lots of shoes. It was like the shoe was the thing. And then we bought ourselves new thongs because Mikey broke mine and he obviously didn't have any. So we got new shoes. What else? We did lots of cool rituals in Karajini, connected with some light beings, aliens.
Yeah, we did some like crazy rituals and just got really like naturally high, like very present. And it's like, yeah, that was something special about that place. Really connected us strong.
Yeah.
And then we were just like meant to leave after Karajini, and we thought, we're having so much fun. Let's manifest some money.
Yeah.
And continue it. We went like, but the plan was to go all the way up to Kununurra.
4K Kununurra.
Yeah.
That was our motto. 4K Kununurra.
4K Kununurra. Just get up there. We're like, oh, 4K should be enough to get up to Kununurra.
But then because of the COVID thing, El Cuesto was like, and it was such a far drive from Broome to Kununurra that we didn't end up going. But we went to Cape Verde instead, and that was really cool. Yeah, had like a good time, connected with lots of people. I wonder if there's anything else we want to share. Is there anything else here? Oh yeah, and the funniest thing that we forgot to share. So when we were like together, falling in love, having this epic romance time, it's like, you know, when you're like back home, you're like have your friends that you tell or share with, and you share the love story, and you're like, and he did this and she did that, and I did this and he did that, la, la, la. So we had no one except ourselves, so we would repeat our love story over and over and like add little bits, and then that time we stopped, and then you kissed me and I wasn't going to do it, but I did it, and then that time when this and that, and the moment I fell in love, and la la la, and all this stuff.
And it's like, yeah, we were just like, and then this, so like, it was like we were explaining the story to ourselves that we like to a friend
that we lived through and through, and we just like couldn't wait to tell our love story. And then every time we tell anyone how we met, when people ask, we always like laugh about it because we finally get to share it with someone. Now we get to share it with you. Yeah, so it was really magical. And I think like I'm really lucky that Mikey, and then I came home, right? So I came home and found all my journals where I've been like writing down lists and lists of my perfect boyfriend, which at the time I remember writing and just thinking like, this is too much. It's too good to be true. Like there's no one on the planet that could be like that, right? Except that I met you. And that's why I'm running the workshop, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But before that, I just wanted to talk about like, yeah, we had this fairy tale romance, and a lot of people do, you know, like your souls connect and you have that fairy tale, you have the honeymoon period. But the thing I spoke about at the beginning, I think here or the previous video, we always trauma bond. So your inner child bonds with their inner child, and that's why you become a match. And then your little girl or your little boy or your little child, your inner child gets triggered or gets like patterns that haven't been healed, haven't been processed, get activated for you to complete the stress cycle, complete the trauma cycle, or reparent that part of you. So it's like why our relationship has been so good is because we have lots of tools. I've done lots of work, Mikey's done lots of work. We're really working on our communication all the time. We have things, we've read like books together on relationships. So we have lots of structure to like work through those things. So even things that are like, I thought was like the worst thing that could ever happen and it's going to ruin our relationship forever. It never does because it just makes us stronger.
True.
Anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, no, I think communication is really powerful. Speaking the truth, telling your partner what you want, being honest about it. Yeah. And then when you're triggered, looking into the trigger, at why you're so triggered, and then actually using that to heal at the same time.
Yeah. And it's important to create safety for your partner to be able to express themselves rather than you get like when they're projecting things on you, knowing that it's projection, that it's nothing to do with you, and like holding them in there, whatever it is, for them to complete that stress cycle and be held in love and support rather than pushed away. And for me, one of my things was abandonment. So it's really lucky that Mikey is really anchored, like he has a really, his parents are still together. He's very like grounded in relationships. So it really complemented me and brought a lot of healing. And like the way he was able to hold all parts of me in unconditional love, that it actually helped me to really like also do that with like my little inner brat, you know, and like bring love to all those parts that we sometimes are shamed for, which are totally normal and totally okay to have. And they have played a part in our life to keep us safe, to keep us going. So that's been really, really beautiful journey. And I'm sure we could do another live some other time if you guys want, talking about the healing process that we went through. But yeah, now I really want to talk about manifesting love, relationships, and the workshop I have coming up. And before that, is there anything else you want to add about our love story?
Mine.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't like if we miss something. I think we pretty much covered it. If something comes up as I'm sharing about the workshop, we can add it in. But I think we painted a good picture. We didn't like. I thought at the start that like he was so into me and like was playing hard to get when he was actually like so off me. But I was like, oh, I'm the best, which is hilarious, right? And so I think it's like, and I think there was a part of me that was so fully self-expressed that was triggering Mikey, you know, as a part. And that's what happens, you know, there's parts of us that we see in others that we want, but we really reject. So it's all a journey and so beautiful because part of your self-development is your solo journey. And then you come into partnership, whether it's monogamous or polyamorous, like, and then you get the next evolution of growth. But you need to be at a certain level to receive a certain type of partner, you know, like if you have done 0-0 work, then you're going to receive that trauma bond. and it's going to be fucking hectic and heinous, right? If you've done more work, then you receive that trauma bond. If you've done a lot of work, you receive that trauma bond. So as you do more work, it becomes easier because you have the tools, you've already done all that inner work that will come up in your partnership. If you've already processed it, then it's not going to get stuck there. It just gets moved through. But if you haven't, then you get stuck there. And if both people are stubborn and they're really like attached to like being right, and a lot of the time people choose to be right than happy, you know. And sometimes this righteousness is actually really subconscious, that you don't even know that like you're fighting to be right, but you are. And safety for your body sometimes can be a dangerous situation, but it feels safe because it's familiar. And then the good thing that feels good, the good, healthy relationship, if it's unfamiliar, it can really feel as danger. So you push it away, even though you want to try and attract it. So that's a little bit of a attachment theory and subconscious theory. And now I want to talk about manifesting and magic, because I totally manifested Mikey, and we have this argument, who manifested who, right? But the thing is, like, if you both manifesting each other, then like, you know, it'll happen faster, better, stronger, you know, it's all part of it. So I'm running a workshop. I'm feeling really inspired. It's like yesterday, I totally channeled that the date today is 222-0220-222, and it's all about partnership. We're doing this random live. It's the 22nd freaking live of my 30 days. It's all meant to be. And the workshop is all about manifesting your dream partner. So we're going to be talking about manifesting, and we're going to be talking specifically around your dream partner. And I'm going to give you all the tools and tips that you need and all the understanding of how to do that. Then there'll be deeper work for you to do in your own time, but you're going to get the picture, you're going to get the skeleton, you're going to get the step-by-step. I've had a few people be like, oh, but how can you have a step-by-step? And I think they missed the point. Like, I'm not guaranteeing you actually successfully manifest a dream partner. I'm giving you the tools to, like, and then it's up to you to do the work, right? And the step-by-step is actually a step-by-step. It is step-by-step. It will work for anyone, because as much as we're totally unique human beings, we have the same blocks, triggers, and all of that stuff that blocks us from actually receiving the thing we're manifesting. And I've done so much work that sometimes I forget that I'm actually a manifesting queen. Like, I am so freaking good at manifesting, but because I've done so much, I forget, like, and I forget my superpower, and I'm getting back into it. And the magic of this workshop is going to be, I'll show you, like, give you examples. We're going to really connect to your superpower of manifesting, getting you to really build that muscle to remember how freaking good you are at manifesting. Do you have any comments on that?
She's right.
Any stories, anything? It's okay. That's okay. Yeah, so that's that. If you want the link, I think I'll put it in the comments. Otherwise, send me a message. It's happening on the 6th of March at 6 p.m. Perth time, which is Australian Western Standard Time. It's like 10 a.m. in UK, 5 a.m. in New York. There'll be a converter. You can figure it all out. There'll be a replay as well. Yeah, so it's very exciting. Thank you, Mikey, for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks guys for tuning in, listening to our love story. I would love for you to share in the comments your love story, or I'd love for you to share in the comments, like, what are you manifesting? What are you creating? If you're feeling a little bit triggered by this video, maybe you want to watch my previous video. I talk a little bit about like projections and how beliefs create our reality. So if you like look at us and be like, oh, easy for them, look how pretty they are, it's like not about that. You know, our society really has conditioned us to put this certain look at like the attractive look, and we need to break through those societal constructs, because we're so unique, we're so gorgeous. And when we just focus on the aesthetics, that's like BS. That like really, that's like 1% of the whole human. like you need to start looking at your values and what values of the other partner you want to attract. What like personality traits, like are you looking for this like hot, sexy built person because someone's saying that? Or do you actually want someone who's committed and caring and loyal, like funny, entertaining, sensitive? Like start thinking outside the box. Stop putting other people in the box. Stop putting your dreams into a box. Stop putting your projections of little boxes onto other people, and just start thinking and dreaming big and connecting to your true heart's desire, not this like construct that's been placed on you.
I think when you start manifesting that in other people and you're looking for those specific qualities, the people that you are looking for will actually seem way more physically attractive to you. Like it's kind of like magic. They'll actually transform. You'll be like, oh wow, they look so good.
Yeah. And I had this like conversation with someone because they were like, oh, easy for you, you're skinny and blonde. But then I was like, yeah, but like there's so many times, like I asked for examples, like when have you seen a really, like a first glance, really ugly person and then you got to know them and you were like, oh my God, you're so sexy, what the hell? Or when have you seen a really sexy person at first glance and then you were like so disgusted by them, So it's like aesthetics is like the lead, it's like the light, it's the shiny object that people are drawn to. But really what you want is the depth. And that's why like people talk about like, oh, you're so shallow. It's like literally because you're drawn to the shiny bit and not the depth of the person. And I actually had this download. It's like when you are operating in this like superficial reality, you're really miserable because you're not actually getting to the true, like you're not actually learning people's true self, and like you're not expressing your true self. And it's funny because it's like I say like dating is like getting clients. The more you're authentic to yourself, the more you attract the right soul client or the right like person. Because if you're hiding and you're putting on a mask, that's the frequency and the vibration that you're putting out there. So the person's like, oh, that's what they're like. Oh, I'm not really into that. But if you're like fully expressed and in your truth, and they're like, oh, I'm not really into that, probably a good sign, because you want someone who's truly into who you are. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with someone that you don't even like. And then the more true you are to yourself, the more you actually are able to attract people that resonate with who you are, and you have more things in common, and it's way more fun.
Michelle.
Anyways, well, if you like this, if you want to know more, sign up for my workshop. It's going to be freaking mind-blowing. The most incredible humans are already signed up. I'm super, super excited. All genders, non-binary, like you'll be surprised how many people like you're like probably projecting and judging and saying like, oh, there's going to be more women or more men. Like you'll be surprised how it's a surprise. It's so different to what you think. So bye. Thank you for your time. Thanks, Mikey. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.